Shalom, friends. We're going into the second week of the second war with Iran and hoping for great victory and peace. Bezrat HaShem, B'karov. And this coming Shabbat, we're reading Shabbat HaChodesh, the Shabbat where we bless Chodesh Nisan, the month of Yetziat Mitzrayim, of Pesach. And it's also Vayakel Pekudes. There's a lot of Torah, both in Eish Kodesh and in Derech HaMelech. We spoke about it quite a bit before, but a new thing that I've noticed this time, rereading, in Eish Kodesh and Chodesh Tov in the spring of 1940, the Piaseczner Rebbe talks about the interplay of the mitzvah of a Chodesh Lechem, blessing the new month, the calendar, etc., and the fact that the Torah starts with Bereshit, with all the stories of the Avot, and of course the very, very famous Rashi at the very beginning of the Torah, quoting the Midrash of Yitzchak. Why did this Torah not start with HaChodesh Lechem, with the first mitzvah? Why did it give all the stories of the Avot? A very famous question. There's a tremendous amount of Torah on this, the Ramban and everyone, okay? But obviously we're not going to go into all that. And the Rebbe has an interesting idea here. He says that really it doesn't mean to say we wouldn't have had the stories of the Avot, which are so essential for our Emunah. It's the preamble, so to speak, to the constitution of the mitzvot. But we would have first had the mitzvah of Chodesh Lechem, and then the mitzvah of the Avot, the stories of the Avot, which Rashi says are to teach us, not just the stories of the Avot, but the whole creation of the world, that Eretz Yisrael was given to Am Yisrael, and that it's ours. HaShem gave it to us. No one can claim we stole it. That's what Rashi says. That's why the Torah opens with the story of the creation, so that we would have Eretz Yisrael, and then it goes later to the mitzvot. So the Rebbe says we need all of it. So what Rashi's question was not would we skip the stories of Bereshit and the creation of the world and the Avot, but should we perhaps have had first the mitzvah of a Chodesh Lechem, the first mitzvah, and then gone back and had the creation of the world, etc. But we need all of it. So that's an interesting interplay there. And then he talks about the interplay more, and he says that really they're very closely related. Since it's hard to serve HaShem in a case of powerlessness and suffering, which is the definition of the exile of the Galut, therefore the mitzvah, the first mitzvah, which is the holiness of time, is interconnected with the holiness of space, with Eretz Yisrael. So right after giving us the mitzvah of a Chodesh Lechem, of sanctifying time, we're right away then told to take the sheep, to prepare it for the Korban Pesach, which is the beginning of the intense Geula process, the redemption from Egypt. So it's all interwoven. And he says we need right away to be able to actualize those mitzvot in a context where we have sovereignty and, yes, power, and that's in Eretz Yisrael. So really the two are all interwoven. So it's really quite an astounding way of looking at things. And he goes on to say, with this he ends the drasha as well, and I think it's important for what we're going through now. He says that Nisan, the month of the spring, the month of the redemption from Egypt, is called a Chodesh Asher Yeshuot Bo Mekifot. It's the month in which salvation surrounds us. Right, we've come out of Adar, which is a month of Simcha and salvation, from Purim, and we know that the reason when there's two Adars that we read the Megillah in the second Adar, which is surprising, is La Smich Gula Le Gula, in order that the redemption of Purim and the redemption of Pesach should all be one in one process, one leading right into the other. So here we see how it intensifies. That a Chodesh Asher Yeshuot Bo Mekifot, the month of Nisan, is the month in which we're surrounded, enveloped in salvation. Okay, and he says that includes also people who are not Re'ui, people who aren't really deserving, because we know that the whole redemption from Egypt was done out of Chesed, out of Hashem's loving kindness for Am Yisrael, because we didn't really have such great merits to get us out of there, and he took us out of there anyways because of his great love for us. So let the remaining week or so of Chodesh Adar and going into Chodesh Nisan, which we bless this Shabbos, be really an intensification of salvation for Am Yisrael in terms of this war, in terms of everything. May we be merit real peace and love and happiness in our land and for all Jews all over the world. It should be a time of great geula, redemption, openly showing us HaShem loves us, takes care of us, even if we're not always totally deserving. It should be a Chodesh Asher Yeshuot, Bo Mikifot, the month when salvation surrounds us completely, envelops us in HaShem's love. Shabbat Shalom, Chodesh Tov, and Chag Sameach.